Hello, Jamie from Inky&Scrappy back with Ink Road Stamps Design Team for my September project today. Keep killing it card. This one is kind of an inspirational one, or a you're doing a good job, keep going kind of card. Anyways, this month we are working with some Juny stamp sets. So Juny is an Ink Road stamp subscription box stamp set or series, I guess. I don't know how to put that one. Anyways. There are 4 different inked subscriptions for the month. You can do 1, or you can do 2, or you can do 3, or you can do 4. Any variation of the 4. So there is Inked Girls, or Inked Juny, or Grumpy Cat, or Inked Spicy. Inked Spicy is like a larger sentiment that's got some cursey words in it. Anyways, back to my card currently. So this one uses Inked Juny from May 2024. As of right now at the taping of this, which is September 3rd, they're still in the store under the inked, like the leftovers, but as of September 18th, she's pulling them from the website, and the only way to get any of the inked, I guess, stamps, so the girls or the Grumpy Cat or the saying, is if you actually subscribe to the subscription box. Otherwise, the leftovers will be either donated for events or in upcoming mystery boxes and packages. So it's kind of a, if you want it, you kind of have to subscribe. You can always skip a subscription month if you don't like that month's stamps. You get like an email and you can check them out a couple days before. And you have, I think, subscriptions start at the beginning of the month, and you only have like 5 days. I don't know all the details. You'll have to go check out all of that on the website. Anyways, back to my card here. So I had stamped Juny onto some Espresso cardstock using some VersaFine vintage sepia, and then I did use it's like a bronze metallic embossing powder over the top. And then I did the inside, like right away. I was like, I'm going to get on it because I have the stamps out. Let's do it, right? I did not like that. I left it in, but I did not like my inked Juny on the inside. I didn't like the coloring. I had used Close to My Heart Bamboo, and it dries back. It probably would have dried back fine. I just didn't like it. And I decided, I really want it to coordinate with the colors on the front of my card. And so I brought in, I want to say this one is Close to My Heart's either Sunset. I think it's Sunset. Don't quote me on that. Anyways, so I brought that one back in, and I liked that better. I did it on the same card front. My nanny always says you have 2 shots on your card base. So you have the inside, and if the inside doesn't turn out, as long as you put your front on it, you'll see what I did. I just flip it over and I use what was going to be the front as my inside, and then my inside ends up being my front, and so it gets covered up with my front panel anyways. Yeah. That's, hot tip from Jamie's Nana. Or nanny. Anyways, back to my color in here. I just kind of grabbed some colors from my Ohuhu Oahu line. I will show them on screen here in a little while, but I just kind of grabbed a darker orange, a mid-orange, and a lighter orange, and then of course I brought in 2 greens, a dark green and a light green, and 2 tones of brown. I want to say I used macaroon, and the other one was a food too, because I was really hungry after I was done. Hazelnuts? Yeah, I think that's what it was. Anyways, those were my 2 brown tones for my skin tones, and then for the lips I brought in a glossy, I think it's called a gloss. It's a glaze. There we go. It's a glaze red gel pen, so it kind of gives it a puffy, glossy look, kind of like a glossy accents, but in a gel pen. So it's kind of a cool, fun one to use for lips. So she has some glossy red lips. So I'm just finishing coloring up my images here. Now, because I used VersaFine and not alcohol-friendly ink, and I didn't get my embossing powder over all of it, I did make sure that my marker tips were clean when I was all done coloring. So I got any brown that might have been on them, which was a pigment, which you don't want to leave on your markers because it will ruin them. So I did make sure that they were clean before I capped them for good. Then I just picked out 4 ink colors that matched my colors on my card front. And I'm taking 2 A2 size panels. This is just, I want to say, probably Accent Opaque 100-pound cardstock here. And I'm just inking up half and half. So kind of red on one side, green, or red on one side, orange on one side, and then green on one side and yellow on one side. And I am going to cut these down into CC Crackling, Campfire, Fired Brick, Mustard Seed, and Peeled Paint. And then I did bring in some of that Windsor and Newton Iridescent Watercolor Medium mixed with a bunch of water. It takes very little in that big bottle of water to get the iridescence from it. So once those are dry, I bring in my guillotine style cutter, and I don't measure these per se. I'm just kind of moving them along. I want some strips to be wider, some strips to be narrower. I have been loving this background technique lately. So if you've been here, you've maybe seen a couple. I don't know if I've done a whole lot of them on video, but I've been playing with them, like just using up scrap paper and stuff. But I wanted these to kind of go with my colors in my card, and so that was what I ended up doing. So you'll see what the inside used to look like. I think I also might have like wiggled it a little bit on my second stamping, and so my sentiment was funky, so I was not sad that I could cover that up because I did not love the color I used on Inked Juny there. Anyways, so I just add, and I'm speeding this up for you because it's a process. I just kind of pick and choose. I didn't want to go in rainbow order. I just kind of wanted to do hodgepodge here and there, just kind of giving it a fun look. And then doing the top. You could have, or I could have, cut off the bottom portion there and brought them around to the top where it's not full. But I had enough strips that I made it work. And then I will wait for this to dry all the way. Yes, it's not my forte. I could let it dry most of the way. But if you let it dry all the way, you have an easier time cutting it because you're not trying to cut wet paper. Just trust me on this one. Yeah. And a longer scissor works better for this as opposed to a shorter scissors. I didn't get all of it perfect because I didn't wait long enough. So I do bring it onto my guillotine cutter, and I just kind of just cleaning up the edges a little bit. I even did it on the top where the fold is. I was just super careful not to actually have the fold touching the blade there. And then I got this far and I was like, I have some brown sparkle. I found some, it's called Loft. I think it's an acrylic medium that is stupid sparkly. Like, this is an amazing sparkle. I used it on my Get Creeping on Halloween card for August 2024, and I still had some left on my block there, so I re-wet it, and then of course I splattered it. So I think it was mixed with some espresso ink, just regular distress ink. And then for my card front, so I had already decided when I had kind of placed her on my piece of paper that I was going to do a circle cut on this one. So instead of doing a fussy cut or running it through the Brother Scan and Cut, I just found a circle that fit her fairly close. And then I'm taking in those greens, that dark one and that lighter one that I had, and bringing in the leaves from the dies that are on the Ink Road website. There's coffee cup ones, and this little leaf comes with that coffee cup die. I thought it would be fun. The leaf shape was similar to that of the leaves on the flowers here. So I brought those in. I'm going to pop up my circle here, and then I'm going to add my leaves back behind it, kind of giving it, I don't know, like a bed of leaves to rest on, I guess. And then just sticking those to that foam adhesive, so they're kind of going to be flush with the paper where the circle is going to be popped up a little bit. And then I'm just bringing in some glue to glue it all down because, you know, I want it to stick well. So then I will place that on kind of center top on this one, and then I'm going to bring in one more leaf and put it on the front here just to kind of give a little bit more depth and dimension to it. Gluing it onto the circle and then making sure it has foam tape so it doesn't crush when it gets mailed. And then I'm going to bring in the Wanna Bone stamp set. I picked this one because I loved the sentiment, keep killing it. As in, you know, you're doing a great job, keep killing it. Keep on keeping on, right? So I brought in some white cardstock again, and then I'm just going to stamp that with my VersaFine Vintage Sepia, and I'm going to do some of that metallic. I think this one was actually called a cappuccino blend that I picked up 15-ish years ago. So I don't know if it's available anymore. Our local scrapbook store that sold it is out of business, so I don't know if it's, but it's really like a bronze, kind of like an aged bronze look. Brought in the ink road stamps sentiment strips here, found the one that matched the best, and then I ran that through the die cut machine, and with the glorious editing option, you don't have to see me add all of the foam here and peel it all. So then I'm just going to add this, center it underneath here, and add it on front. I kept it white because I felt it went with that white circle, so it kind of just pops off of that very pretty background there. I love the fall vibes to this one and all of that sparkle and shine. That embossing powder has way more glitz and glimmer in real life than it does on camera, but you do kind of see it there. And then, of course, on the inside, I see you trying your best. That's all you need to do. And then, yes, if you see off to the right hand side there, I probably created myself into a, 8-inch by 8-inch square if I was lucky. Yeah. It needs to get cleaned again every time. Anyways, that leftover die cut piece that I had and put together, I'm going to pop that on the back of the card and put my insignia stamp beneath it. That way I, use it and it's off my desk and I don't feel that I have to hoard it forever. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Go check out Ink Road Stamps ink subscriptions and have a great rest of your day. Bye!